Trevor Peek is an anomaly. He's a man who doesn't do things conventionally, but still can win off of grit and determination and guts. I love it. Ashmouz, on the other hand, is one of my favorite prospects right now, who, while young in his MMA career, I think that his last fight, given that that was his first loss of his career, I think it soured his image in the minds of people who are like new watchers versus what I think that he's capable of. So let's kind of talk about it right here, man. Trevor Peek, give me the spiel on Trevor Peek, man. What do you like about Peek?
I love that he's a wild man, Derek, always willing to go to work, has these, like you said, unconventional ways that goes about him, but he still finds a way to do some damage, right? He still finds his way to make his moment in those fights because he's throwing absolute heat and has a powerful right hand. I love the way that Trevor Peek, it's a weird cutoff he has, right? He kind of follows you around the cage, but he has this weird way of just finding enough space that he's able to cut you off. And with his wild man, reckless abandon, it makes you want to engage him in this kind of style of fight. And when you do, in that wildness, in that chaos, that's where Trevor Peek finds his advantages.
You see, it's interesting because Trevor Peek, though it doesn't seem it, I do think he is a educated fighter. And what I mean by that is he's showing improvements from fight to fight. Like, he's literally switching up his style, right? So on one hand, he got running, sprinting hammer fists that are going down. On the next hand, he's clinching you up and trying to wrestle a little bit. Like, he is absolutely mixing it up. I'm interested to see what the leg kicks are going to look like in this fight, because if you have one advantage against Ashmouz is you got to take his mobility away, because he's a power fighter, right? You're not going to get a lot of volume from him, from the Red Fox, but you're going to get bombs, spinning attacks, big overhand shots, all the same stuff Trevor Peek is going to throw at you, right? But if someone's legs can get crippled, if you will, right? If you could take away that and you have a standing target in front of you, I think somebody goes to bed here. So before we jump a little bit more into the analysis right here, the over and under, you know what the over is. It's 1.5 rounds for sure on this one. But the over, minus 125, under minus 105. What are you taking?
That's interesting, Derek. Instant thoughts, I'm taking the over on that one. I do think with the styles of how these both go, because they're both putting good pressure, but they have this composed style to them, right? Like, very technical. And like you said, even though Trevor Peek is awkward, he still has this technical ability to him where they can find those moments, right? And I think with Ashmouz and how his style works, how I don't want to say low output, but lower output than most, I think this one is going the over.
So I lied to you, bro, and I apologize for that one. Hold on, let me get this pulled up. There we go. 2.5 rounds is what it was. It wasn't 1.5 rounds, which actually does surprise me. I mistyped this one right here. So 2.5 rounds, minus 150 for the over, plus 120 for the under right here. So do you have a reevaluation on that?
I don't like it as much. I'm still taking the over, and I can see why people are going for it. It made me more confident at 1.5. I won't lie. The chaos and the power of both these fighters, I can see some crazy things happening, but at the same point, you can see where fire versus fire again makes a mismatch. I still like the over.
That makes me take a step back really quickly, because when I'm analyzing these numbers, man, I look at minus 150 favored it to go over 2.5 rounds, not to a decision, but just to make it past 2.5 rounds. Okay, right on. And then I take a look at the knockout, or excuse me, on the decision props on each, right? Plus 225 for Trevor Peek, plus 285 for Ashmouz. Who's going to win the fight? It's going to be damage based, unless wrestling really comes to play in right here, which both dudes can wrestle. That's the thing people don't understand. Both of these dudes can wrestle. I mean, why are we looking at a TKO prop that is so high, plus 240, right? Plus 335 for Ashmouz, and the decision prop that look like that? Like, I know I'm not explaining myself as well as I want to, but these numbers don't add up to me. So what do you think?
No, I'm with you, Derek. It doesn't add up, because when you look at both of these fighters in a bubble in their own sphere, they're knockout fighters, right? They got big power, weird movement to them, catch people at awkward angles, have that kind of style where it doesn't make sense, but they get the finish, right? And you put them two together, that might be why we're seeing a lower decision prop right here, because like we said before, you get the two kind of similar styles of fights. It ends up being something different than we're expecting. That could be a reason why it's going into this. This one's a hard one for me, Derek, because I've been back and forth between who I actually really liked and want to win this fight and who I think is going to win this fight, because there is some serious heat behind Ashmouz. But Trevor Peek has this I don't want to say aura, but like an appeal to him that out of nowhere he can get the finish.
That's it. I mean, I think that's on both ends of the fight right there. So all you got to say right here is enjoy the violence while it lasts. Again, this is another one of those consenting picks, or yeah, contentious, I should say. I'm rolling with the Red Fox, baby. Let's go. That's a dog play. Oh, I forgot to mention, if I didn't say it already, minus 125 for Peak, plus 105 for the Red Fox. Give me the money line dog play on the Red Fox at plus money. And AJ, plead your case, my friend.
We're going with the awkward wild man, Trevor Peak. They opened up at even, but now he's the favorite for a reason, folks. I'm just kidding. This one's actually going to be a very, very close fight. Like Derek said, make sure you don't blink. This one's going to be bloody, and I'm going with Peak.